Hey guys, so with the leaps and advances in technology, especially when it comes to stuff like AI, one of the things that's also going to remain constant is the improvement in displays, whether it's TVs, smartwatches, and at this point, even going on to smart displays, as we see with how Google has made the Nest and the Nest Hub, and even Amazon with the Echo Show. This then breeds competition, obviously, with other companies trying to make something that is going to rival them or at least be competitive in terms of pricing. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Vobot MiniDock Smart Display. Now, this does essentially a lot of things that a smart clock can do. I have my qualms, my big takeaways, and things I will be interested and looking forward to. But before I get into that, just make sure you follow just so you can stay tuned for more videos like this and stay up to date with all my content. So first things first, this thing it's a tiny device. And looking at it at first glance, it kind of looks like a alarm clock, honestly. It doesn't stand out too much besides the RGB lighting. It's a very light device. It's not really going to weigh you down or weigh anything down, honestly. And it's smaller than the average iPhone. And just looking at it as an ordinary device, it can pretty much go anywhere in the rooms. It really isn't something that takes up or soaks up any attention and can really blend in to whatever environment that you place it in. As for the material that's made out of, okay, it doesn't have the best protective coating. So feeling it just straight on feels like it's made out of plastic. For the front, it does have a smart display, but it's not touchscreen. But at the same time, also, it doesn't feel really reinforced. As it comes to the connection ports, okay, it has a bunch of connection ports. It has four USB-C ports, one that you can use to connect to your computer. It has an Ethernet port. It has an HDMI port, which I'll get into the screen mirroring aspect in a little while. And at the same time, also, it has a USB port. So it has a ton of different ways that you can connect it to, which is honestly for the better, right? Like you always want to have as much versatility with whatever device that you have, especially if you don't have a certain cord that you'll need. So one of the things I like about the device, especially the display, it's just really ambient. Looking at the screen is very small, but it doesn't really feel like you have to squint to be able to read any of the text. And even though some of the font is a little pixelated, if you really try to look deep into it, but it honestly is still legible and it looks fine for a startup device. On the left side of the display is where you're going to get the clock and as well as the date display. On the right is where all the fun components of the device are supposed to be. So you'll have a pedometer, you'll have the calendar, and you'll have as well screen mirroring, and you can even play games. Now, for me, I was blessed enough to also have the controller sent to me when they offered to give it to me for review. And just a disclaimer on ordering the device, I believe both come separate. So if you order the smart dock, that doesn't necessarily mean you are going to get the controller as well. That you're going to have to make as a purchase on its own. It's really fun and it's nice to use the device. And also, it's not as laggy as I thought it was going to be. When transitioning through the apps, it still feels smooth. Of course, I ran into a couple of glitches and some bugs. When flipping through the apps, sometimes it just skips over one of them and immediately goes to the other apps, which it's not really the worst thing that can happen, but it does get a little annoying because then you just lose your train of thought or your line of whichever app you're looking for. And I say the biggest thing that was a downside for me when using this device is that since it's a startup, they don't have an official app yet. So a lot of the things or some of the major things like playing games, screen mirroring, you're going to have to do that over on the web. So you'll have to scan the barcode and then go to the web and link your phone and the device that way. And it's still possible to do that. Like it's still manageable, but it's wildly inconvenient as compared to having an actual app that you can download from the iOS store or the Google Play Store and just manage the device and the components that way. Instead of going to the web and trying to link your Wi-Fi and the IP address, that stuff just it starts to get a little clunky and it kind of dilutes the fun in using the device itself. Now, bottom line, I think this is a good device. It has some fun components about it, especially playing some games. It is a nice smart display. iPhone 1 had countless numbers of Alexa, so I'm used to having smart docks and smart hubs literally in my living area. And with this, it's a fun little addition to that. And right now, I'll say it's a good proposition. They don't have the app yet, and it's still in the startup phase. So they're not going to have everything figured out and totally ironed out. It is a good start and a good reference point for a company that's just beginning with their smart displays. But then again, let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe so you can stay tuned for more content like this. I'm out.